Welcome to episode 414 of my Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast. And tonight I have intuitive energy healer, the amazing Virgo herself, Miss Joy Baker. Hey everybody, Joy, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my friend? And it's so good to have you back on. Oh, the music wanted to come back on too.
Lots of upbeat music. So it's great being back on your show, Eric. Thanks for having me back on. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing I'll do the clearings, you do the astrology readings, and see how we go forward. And
I love that.
Yeah,
and everybody loves when you come and do that. That is so awesome and so exciting. And, I just want to share as, people come in and stuff. What's really awesome is that, starting off 2026, I had a tribe member, which you came and spoke to, Brandon Ellis, who's a spiritual sci-fi author on the show, and then having you, who was a part of our tribe meeting a few months back, and it was so awesome. Everybody loved, oh my God. And the way that you were doing the readings and clearings for people were just like, Joy's amazing. Oh my God. Da, 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 da. So it's so good to have you here on the show, and hopefully people will come, whether they're from the tribe or from wherever, and tune in. And I see we got some people here in the chat. So you guys, hello, welcome. So I wanted to ask you, you had mentioned that we were talking off air because we are in a universal 1 year, but it's really, I try to explain to people, it's really a 10, right? Because it's 2026, which is a 10. So we can't forget that 10, because 0 is that energy and frequency of birthing things, right? Creation. So the binary code 0011, right? And all that. But what are you feeling with this new year, this month, and then in February of the Fire Horse year? Energetically, where are we at as a collective? What are you feeling?
There's a lot of light coming in. I think everybody knows that, all the light that's coming in. But it's also, because what I focus on more is stuck emotions. And so I'm more in the emotional realm. There's also, which often happens in a new year, pressure. And especially because we are in a 1 year, in the beginning of a 9-year cycle.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to put that pressure on ourselves to let's get this done. And I just want to suggest to everybody, breathe. Think of this year as, yes, things are speeding up. They're happening faster and faster, but we're also seeding for the next 9 years. So give yourself free rein. We're going into the Fire Horse here, which I love because I spent the first 33 years with horses.
That's right. You're the horse whisperer. I love
that. I love that we're going into a 1 year in the Fire Horse. But give yourself permission to dream and imagine, and even if you're not ready to take action on that yet, what you're doing is you're seeding those ideas, and you're saying to the universe, you know what, this is what I would love, even if it's 5 years. If you want to travel, more money, you want to get your own place, you want to, whatever it is, get a dog, and at least seed those ideas and let the pressure go. Just let the pressure go and give yourself permission to imagine. Some people will do it in meditation. I like to walk, and that's when I'm most creative. It might be when you're daydreaming, or as you're falling asleep, or as you wake up. But this is a time we're seeding those ideas. And the more you can think of it and as seeding for the next, 9 years,
right,
you take that pressure off yourself too. It has to be done now, because that pressure to do it now,
it's overwhelming, right?
It's overwhelming. It comes from 3D consciousness, and we've got enough in our everyday lives that have to be taken care of, never mind our dreams.
Yes.
But you allow yourself to see them. In other words, there's that balance there. Going into the 1 year Fire Horse, like you were talking earlier, I don't know astrology at all, but you were mentioning it. Things are going to be quickening up.
Oh, yeah.
Remember to breathe. Remember to feel the peace. Because the more you are in that peace, that represents a higher consciousness. So when you're caught up in the drama, and drama represents a lower 3D consciousness, a fear-based consciousness. Peace represents a higher consciousness. However, there are people, and I worked with clients, especially in December and then this year or this month, who are really in the midst of some drama and chaos.
Yes.
But I can feel how, even though they're saying, hey, this is a 1 year, I thought things were going to start getting better. Whatever you're no longer in vibrational alignment with, or you're moving into higher consciousness and will no longer be in vibrational alignment with, all the heaviness and density, that's going to come up. And it needs to be released because you're not in vibrational alignment with it, or where you're going, you won't be. So yeah, it's going to come up. So if you're dealing with a lot of drama right now or chaos, breathe and know that in most cases anyways, at least all the ones I've dealt with, this is an ending. It might be drama and chaos you've dealt with for years, even decades.
Right. It's coming to an end. Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's like you literally can't be there any longer. When you're in a place or you're listening to something, it's like, this is not resonating with me. Well, when it's that, if it's your life and it's that big, and it might be relationships or a job or something, and you're realizing this isn't working. And it might be other people in your life or bringing it to a point where it's just breaking up. But just take a breath and go, this too will pass. This too. Because as we all know, when you're in the midst of it, it's like, it's going to.
Yeah, it seems daunting. I know.
Yeah.
But, I love that message, Joy. And you said two powerful things that I want to touch on with you, because you said that's the 3D consciousness. And I really love that, because people have to realize, right, even though we're striving for 4 and 5D and higher consciousness, we still live in this realm of this 3D matrix, but we have to kind of really say goodbye to the old versions of ourselves, our old ways, and this drama and chaos. And I think that we have to be so intentional to recognize it in the awareness, and then to be able to sever. And sometimes that's hard, because it may be friends and family that are bringing that. It could be a job or an unhappy relationship or marriage. And so I want you to share some insights and tips for people in terms of how they can consciously sort of separate, even though it could be challenging. And then also, you tapped into something that's super important. You said you love to kind of connect and get all this when you're walking. So how powerful is movement? And combine those two for me in terms of saying goodbye to the 3D consciousness and the necessary need for movement and walking.
Oh, movement is beyond health. First of all, it's muscle activity and cardio and that, but you're moving the energies. It's just, what we've all felt stuck and stagnant and nothing's moving, and that's your energy that's stuck. And one of the best ways to get out of that is to move. For some people, it will be dance. Some people, I've got a friend who she loves to dance. And I love to walk, even in the rain. I love walk because it's that you're moving your energy. And as you move energy, and especially if you can walk in the forest or where there's not many people around, because when you're around people, you're also in their thought energy, because we're always thinking. But when you can be around either walking with somebody else where the creative ideas are flowing, but your energy's moving simply by moving your body and walking, your thoughts are going, so you're being creative either with somebody else or just walking on walking in the forest. And if there's nobody else there, and especially if you can find nature or water or something like that, and that's such a high frequency, your energy is merging with that, and you're walking at the same time, and that's when your creativity flows.
I love that. And it's so important. And I tell people, right, I say, listen, like for you in Canada, I know it's cold, all my friends and family on the East Coast, wherever you guys are watching, it could be very cold and wintry, but this is where we can still try to get out, if you can, out of the office midday for a lunch break, or if you work from home between 12 and 2, 12 and 3, to get the sun and go out there and walk. It will literally change every aspect of your mood and your energy. And I love how you said, like, when you're near grass and trees and nature and water, lakes or ponds or whatever, it brings you back to, like, I feel like center, right? To Gaia, Mother Earth, and it's so powerful. So I want to ask you, when people are in the drama wheel, right? And let's say if it's hard for them to separate it, do you have any insights and tips where they just can't financially get away, or they're married or whatever? What can they do by themselves, even in their own home, amongst the drama, to kind of disassociate or raise their vibration?
Yeah. Thank you for asking that question again. So write a list ahead of time, because in the moments of stress, we default to our comfort zone. So ahead of time, write down a list of anything that will upgrade your frequency. So that might be a song. It might be a color. It might be thinking of your child or your dog. It might be looking at a dog or a cat video, or it might be reading something online, or reminding yourself you've got on the phone. Oh yeah, there's that. And the more they think of them as, immediate frequency upgrades. So when you're just kind of stuck, or you hear about the news of the world, or somebody says something and you feel your energy just go like that. And it's like, okay, I got to bring this up, or I've got to get this done. So I have to bring my energy back up, my frequency back up. Go to that list. It might be on your phone or your computer or the wall or something, and say, well, it's cold, I'm not going to go outside, but hey, I really like this song. Every time I listen to it, it just brings my energy up. Put it on, even if it's just for a few moments.
Right.
Or it might be, every time I see the color pink, my energy goes up. And something like, and it's unique for each person. Have, a few or even 10 different things that when you just see in the moment, you need a bit of a pick me up.
Right.
Go to that. And it doesn't have to be big, but just if you can spend even a few seconds, even say a statement. Like for me, it's, Archangel Michael or Archangel Raphael. Well, I can just say their names, and instantly I feel better. And but it might be a statement by Raphael or Michael or Saint Germain or somebody like that. When you say it, you shift your energy right away, and you can feel that. And so come up with a list of like frequency upgrades.
Okay.
And then you can visit that at any time. And I just want to mention one of my, she's on my email list, and she sent me her playlist. I think it was yesterday, of songs. And she said she's been going through a depression, and she said, this is my playlist. And anytime I need a pick me up, she says, I'll play a song and I'll either dance to it or I'll sing it at as loud as I can. Yeah. And she said, I'll shift my energy. So she set up that playlist.
That's awesome.
And she uses that to get out of her depression.
And music does do that for us. Let's be honest, right? We all know, especially if it's a song that we remember teenage years or first love or whatever, that just gets you, and you're like, I love that. You can't help but immediately smile. And even just thinking of songs right now, I'm smiling because you're right. It's so powerful. So hello to everybody in the chat. You want to, let's check in, see who's here. Any questions that people may have for you. And a little bit, you guys, we will get to readings, but let Joy see who's here first.
So, okay. So, well, there's Tina Clara. Alana.
Welcome.
DJ Danny.
All right, Dan.
I am going to read the last part. Flora Burt 2913.
Okay. Hi, Flora.
GL 5478. Hi, everybody. There's a mayor. 84 Cherie.
There's Gail. Hey, Cherie. How are you guys doing?
Owl. Oh, I like that one. Searching Owl. JZS 3348. So
Okay. Hey, Joy.
I apologize if I missed anybody, but
Okay.
yeah,
So just so you guys know, we're gonna in a few minutes. Um, Joy is so amazing at doing this, and she's gonna do some energy clearings for you guys today. Would you? Should they ask you a question or mention to you like what they've been dealing with, or anything that they'd like to kind of leave into 3D or in 2025, or how do you want them to?
so are you going to follow up with astrology readings, or will it just be clear?
Yeah, no, we can do, and especially for the people that are here new, you guys, if you want, you could just you can give the question or what you want Joy to clear for you energetically, and you could share your birthday if you want, and I can also piggyback on top of that and tell you about some of the energy of 2026. So you don't have to do birth time. You could just do the date and the like if you're born February 1st, 1975, you could just put that and that'd be good enough. And I think that that's really important. So I want to ask you this, because when you feel into the energy, and I'm kind of tie this into the astrology because I think this would be fascinating for the people to hear. When I don't know if you're paying attention or you're aware, but if you are like aware, do you feel different energies when there's a full moon compared to a new moon?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I've never paid that much more attention, but every now and then, usually it's after the full moon, I'll go, oh, that's why I had clients with so much drama. There was so much chaos.
Right, illuminating something and bringing the endings. And then the new moon we have coming up on the 18th, the Capricorn new moon at 28 degrees. It'll be trining Uranus. So I'll be releasing a video on that tomorrow, you guys. But that is, the first new moon of the Gregorian calendar new year. We all know the new year is really on the equinox. So you do notice some things sometimes around the full moon.
A little bit, I think, not too much, but when I really, because I don't really pay attention to that.
Right.
But every now and then I'm like, oh, okay, now this is why it's been kind of a crazy or chaotic time.
Right.
Or it's more I notice it around the full moon. And so I was just going to mention, when people put stuff in the chat, go ahead and put stuff in the chat. And if you want, some people put their birthdays in here, but if you want anything cleared, so I'll look at the any stuck emotions or stuck beliefs or patterns, and we'll just see what comes up first. And so if you want money cleared, if you have
money blocks, or you've got things with relationships or self-love or body stuff. I mean, Joy is amazing, you guys. So definitely make sure you put that in the chat. Well, now, before we get started with that, though, I wanted to ask you, we talking back about the astrology, because I know you don't know that much about it, but this is a year where a lot of astrologers for a while have been a little, concerned because of patterns. And so one of those patterns is connected to the Civil War, World War II, and the American and French Revolution, which is Pluto's in Aquarius for 2044. Uranus will be in Gemini. And then we've got, the other outer planet, Neptune, starting off in Aries, January 26, and then Saturn just for 2.5 years, Neptune to 2039, but Saturn coming in as well. And they're making a conjunction. And, these conjunctions coincided with like the Great Wall of China falling down in 89, Saturn, Neptune conjunctions. And when it's in Aries, that's like a kind of like birthing like a new reality and a new beginning. But, Aries and Gemini are very fast moving signs. So if people feel overwhelmed with, because I love how you said that pressure of a new beginning and a new energy, like I've got to do this, I got to do that, right? Besides the tips you gave us with that, when people are sort of in the storm as we move forward, February, March, what are some ways for people to kind of slow down even amongst the chaos and to come back to their heart and to be more connected? One,
it seems really simple, but it's just gives you that moment of relief is this too will pass. This is going to pass. This is going to pass. The other one is take a moment and revisit where you've come from. We often forget, 6 months, a year, 5, 10 years ago. And because especially we're in the midst of it, or if it's been going on for a long time. And so acknowledge yourself how far you've come. This too will pass. I'm a big believer in tapping, EFT. I would just tap on overwhelm, just really, just say this overwhelm and do a round of tapping. It takes a few seconds. I use that extensively for 20 years to get to where I am now. And EFT.
Give the audience an example with the tapping. What type of stuff do you do?
Well, I went through 2 bankruptcies, so I used it on money I would do it 6, 7 hours a day sometimes. And anything that comes up. So EFT, if you're not familiar with it, emotional freedom technique, what you're tapping on, there's certain points. These are meridian endpoints. Okay. And meridians, it's your energy flow. If energy is stuck or stagnant, if you're worried about money, overwhelm, if you're feeling overwhelmed and just everything, kids and work and exes and all of that, and it's just too much and you're feeling overwhelmed with that. And I even just saying this, I can feel the tension coming up. When you tap, see, when you're feeling overwhelmed, that causes your energy to become sluggish. So you're in your meridian, so your whole body. But when you tap, you're releasing that energy. What you're really releasing is emotional attachment to the statement or whatever's going on. Right. You release emotional attachment. It's like all that chaos can still be going on, but you're not emotionally attached to it. It's like, this is happening, but you know what? This is going to pass. I'm a huge believer in EFT.
Now, are you tapping with 1, 2 fingers?
I just tap with 2 fingers. So it's like, there is a setup, anybody who's familiar with it, there is a setup. I don't even bother doing that anymore myself. Some people will, but many people will. I just tap. If it's overwhelmed, you can say whatever's coming up. You've got thoughts going in your head all the time. I can't take. But
well, as Virgos, sometimes we have too many thoughts, Joy.
but it's really important if you're saying that you say the negative statement, but tap at the same time, because tapping releases emotional attachment. Just don't say the negative statement. But you can even just say this overwhelm. So you start with the inside of the eye, this overwhelm, outside of the eye, this overwhelm. Under the eye, I can already feel the relaxation. And then under your nose, you can look, if you're not familiar with it, just go online and look, emotional freedom technique. But it's free because I went through 2 bankruptcies and I didn't have much money. I never had much money. I was just barely surviving. I'm like, okay, I want to get by this trauma as stuff came up. I'm like, but what can I do? So this was back, 25 years ago in early 2000s. And I looked for an energy technique. I used, went on Google, energy technique that helps with trauma, and EFT showed up. And I just, as soon as I saw it, I went, oh my gosh, a tool that's going to help me with anything. And
that's for me.
Yeah. I'm like, I can teach myself and it's not going to cost me a bunch of money. And with money, anybody who's dealing with money and feeling lack and limitation, you don't have to be stuck there. There are techniques. There's people you can work with. Yes, there's so much information out there now, but EFT is one that I would tap for hours on anything I could find. And if I couldn't find anything else, well, then I would look online and go, what are some money issues? I just tapped and tapped. And the longest I tapped one day was 7 hours nonstop.
Really? And mainly just on your own body?
Yeah, just tap. So, it's just tap here, 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 under your arm, top of the head. Yeah. And there is, you can go fingers and that, you can do the side of the hand. I like to keep things really simple. Okay. And I just tapped on myself, but it gets the energy moving. But the chances are after doing EFT, if you go deep enough, that you won't even remember what you were tapping on. If you do, the difference is the emotional attachment is gone. So the same statement, you might still be saying the same statement, but you're feeling detached from all the drama and the overwhelm, and it's
That sounds
so
great.
powerful. That's one tool. I used to do it when I worked in an office a couple of times. I was never office person, so just about 8 months at a time. But all the people and the computers and that, it would get to me. So I'd go to the washroom, I'd do a really quick round to EFT and then go back, and then I was balanced again.
Oh my God, I love that. I could see, but 7 hours, that's impressive, Joy.
Yeah, that was, I did it a few times, 6, 7 hours. 7 hours was my max, but I would often do it for an hour or two. And I did it, I mean, so extensively for about 20 years.
Wow.
And then, and then I started this business and used to use it with my clients. I rarely do anymore unless there's something really big that we're not getting past.
Well, it's funny that you talk about that. I can't say that I'm consciously aware of doing the EFT, but something similar. But I do like it's more of a lymphatic cleanse. So I'll do through the whole lymph, and starting up here and then going down and in the clavicle and patting under the arms and in the pelvic and behind the back of the knees, and then sort of releasing at the ankle. And it's that that tapping, and so I do that. I don't know if that would be considered EFT, but I do it through the, kind of cleansing and rinsing out the lymphatic system. But I find that does really help with that, right? Because that's like our waste system. We got to get that moving. And so, yeah, that always relaxes me at the start of the morning, because I tend to do that most mornings.
That feels really relaxing. Anything that's going to get energy moving, and everything is energy. Another one, if people want to, you can just do it quickly. Just rub your ears. Take your, just put your hands on your ears and rub them. Or you're not rubbing them. You're massaging them back. All the acupuncture points. Same, like we think of them in the feet. They're also in the ears.
Yeah, yeah.
When you do that, and if you any health issues in that, it will support. When I do it, I can feel the energy moving in the back of my neck.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
So it'll be different for every person, but when you do that, these are just quick, easy techniques that you can do. And if I was feeling overwhelmed in the moment, I needed something quick, I would say, like really quick in the moment, I would say this too will pass.
Yes.
Really quick, put your hand on your heart, stomach, or your other hand on your belly button. Just breathe into your heart, let that go. And then if you've got time and you can, you're not around a bunch of people, you can just do a little like that, just a really quick round. Or even just tap your arms, brush your arms like that, brushing the energy off. Yeah. Another thing, if you're really stuck in your head, hair holds emotions. And so when our mind is always going, we're releasing that chaotic.
Rub the head and play with the hair. And
just run your hands through your hair and flick it off. And then just put your fingers really gently over your eyes, pull it over off to the side. That can be really relaxing. Just to the temple, flick it off. And then just run your hands over your face. And you can do your whole body, but even if you do your hair, your hands behind your neck like that. And even if you just do the head, because all those thoughts and fear and that, it gets stuck around her head, and people can see auras. You can see a black energy all around the head, and then that keeps everything stuck. So when you can clear that off, you feel more relaxed. All these little things.
I love that.
Make a list up, because
well, these are great energy health tips to start off the year. And you know what I love that you said earlier, Joy, that's so important. Recognizing, even if we're dealing with the tough experiences or tough times and, the whole 3D matrix and the drama pulling us in, like what you said, look where you've come from or how far you've come. And that's the thing that I try to explain to my clients. We sometimes see ourselves as small and victims, but we are big, we're giants, and we're not victims in the 3D or the 5D, but we don't pat ourselves on the back and give ourselves recognition and credit. And it's like, if you can't cheer yourself on, I mean, you may not have anybody else to do it. So I think that's one thing that I would wish for everybody in the chat and everybody watching on the replay for the collective is, every once in a while, like say, good job, Eric, good job, Joy. Like pat yourself on the back and acknowledge your wins, even no matter how small they are, right?
Absolutely. That's like you said, if you're not going to be your own best champion and cheerleader, then other people aren't necessarily going to, because you're creating that vibration within you. When you create that vibration, that's when you radiate out. And if you do this, if you actually do this, you acknowledge yourself every day, your energy will start to shift. You will radiate out an energy of, hey, you know what? I'm good. I'm awesome. I know my worth. And you will find people that they start to recognize you just out of the blue. Somebody will say, hey, congratulations on that. You might never have been told, congratulations or awesome before, but the energy shifts. People respond to your energy.
Yes.
And the energy they're responding to is the energy within you. The more you acknowledge yourself, you believe in yourself, you recognize your value and your worth, even if it feels weird at first, chances are it's going to feel really weird. It's like,
but just do it anyway. Push through.
Exactly. Do it anyway.
I tell them, fake it till you make it. Like positive affirmations in the mirror, keep saying it. You are worthy of it. So say it.
Oh, I used to say that all the time to myself starting out. That was my, fake it, just keep going, Joy. Fake it till you make it.
I love that. All right, so let's why don't we go to the chat and see if we have any readings for energy clearings or birthdays or whatever, or hopefully both.
Let's see. So we've got some just birthdays, but I don't know if they want clearing or not.
You guys put down, if you want a clearing, it's really something powerful. So share with Joy if there's something that you want to, a pattern you're trying to break, an emotion, a depression, anything.
Okay, here's one that's both. So I'll say it and then I'll do a bit of clearing, and then so it's family stress. So family stress and blocks around that. Okay. And the date of birth is 9/24/1965.
Okay, 9/24. Who is this? 9/24/1965.
Teresa Mayer, 8447.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
hey,
so
Teresa.
I'm going to look at family stress first of all for Teresa. Anger and anxiety are the first emotions that come up, and there's a lot of anger and anxiety between the various family members, and it's like everybody's trying to avoid everybody else, and it's like there's an elephant in the room. Nobody's really talking about it because there's tiptoeing. No, not really tiptoeing. Some people are really heavy and, and other people are tiptoeing. So, but you're all trying to avoid like an elephant in the room. And what, Teresa, do you want and need and desire? Because any part of you that believes you have to stay engaged in this and you have no other choice, whether it's your family of origin or immediate family and you've got kids, whatever the situation is, there is always choice. And the very fact that you're saying and feeling like I have no choice is keeping you stuck in all this. And then you go into avoidance because you're trying to tiptoe around and avoid the elephant in the room, what needs to be talked about. So there you go. And that trapped feeling, just let's let go of that trapped feeling and the shame, let go of all of that on all levels, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, cellular. There you go. Okay, there's a little bit of gratitude. There's some gratitude starting to circulate within you. Okay, so I'm just going to touch on that. So Eric, you've got the date of birth there?
Yeah, so Teresa is an amazing Libra, even though she's born in September. And Teresa, you got to reach out to me so we could do your Q&A session. I sent you an email. I did a chart reading for Teresa. She's amazing. I don't remember all of her placements off the top, but I know one thing, Teresa, and I'm sure I mentioned this, and I do remember mentioning this, born in 1965, you are a very powerful healer. So I want you to kind of recognize your powers within you. And the Virgo South Node is to help you kind of transmute that being self-critical and that doubt and, pointing the finger at yourself. But I want you to kind of, like we just said earlier, right, recognize how amazing you are, Teresa, because remember, Libras are, number one, the wealthiest sun sign, but they're such great listeners. And they make people feel good in relationships, their communications, and making things aesthetically look beautiful. But with the Uranus-Pluto conjunction in Virgo, and you're going to have on March 3rd, the Virgo lunar eclipse, there are going to be some things that karmically come out to help you recognize how dynamic you are of a healer. And this can be, in any of the metaphysics, but it could be with energy and healing hands, Reiki, maybe mediumship. A lot of things are going to be moving for you this year, especially as the Uranus and Gemini comes in April 25th, and it will be trining eventually your sun sign and different placements you have in Libra. So definitely reach back out to me so we can schedule your Q&A, but also just tap into that, right? Don't be stressed. Realize you have so much to offer to the world and your gifts of healing and energy, okay?
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So I want to, this is, looks like Tanny 12, I think. Okay. And it says, this is just a question. Hi, Joy, right neck and right shoulder pain. Can this be cleared energetically? I mean, yeah, moving energy always helps with releasing pain. But I mentioned this interesting right shoulder comes in today because I just heard a doctor say this morning, I was watching a video by a doctor, Dr. Berg, if anybody's interested, BERG. Mm-hmm. And he said right shoulder is often related to the gallbladder. Uh-huh. And so, and now the neck, and right side is the masculine side. So masculine issues here. And the neck is, so you think of the neck, it's about, well, all joints are about flexibility, but the neck is about looking at different points of view. And because you're looking over there, it looks different. You look over there, it looks different. You're always, it's different points of view. And so if there's pain or tension or your neck is stuck, what situation is causing you distress, and are you unwilling to look at different points of view? You might feel like, I know I'm right about this, and all the evidence might point to you're right about it, but it's causing you distress. It's causing stress and pain. And that's, yeah, there you go. There's your pain there. And so the gallbladder often signifies jealousy. So I wonder if there's some relationship issues there that maybe you haven't been aware of, but there's some jealousy in there, but you're right. So anything like that, any energies that are causing you pain, emotions, whether it's jealousy and wanting to be right and feeling justified in being right. Yeah. I always say, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Yeah.
And because
it's important when we're dealing with other human beings, sometimes being right is not the right answer for you.
And and that keeps us stuck again in that lower consciousness. And it might be, I know I'm right because this happened and I did this and that person said that and I've been validated. But do you want to be happy? Do you want to feel peaceful? Do you want to resonate and align with higher consciousness? Right and wrong always comes from 3D consciousness, from lower consciousness. Wow. And it's on the right side. But that is a masculine energy. So always you're stuck in a masculine, so it feels like a push-pull and restriction. Let's go of that. And when we clear for one person, they're being a surrogate for everybody because the energy is releasing. It's not restricted. There you go. So thank you for that. Okay, so now we have, says fear, betrayal, money. Not a specific question, but I'll look at that. Fear, betrayal, money. And the date of birth is 5/30/1973. And this is Colleen W121.
Okay, hi Colleen. What you said, 5/30/1973?
Yes, yeah. Okay, so let's look at fear, betrayal, money. So the fear around money is fear of having too much, because then others will be jealous. And then so then that leads into the betrayal. So if I have a lot of money, or if I have enough money to live how I want to live, and to live more, even a luxurious lifestyle, okay, there's your fear right there. And so, in other words, like if I have what others don't have, or this person or these people don't have, then you go into a huge amount of fear.
And sometimes that can be with family members and siblings, right? That competition, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when you can be betrayed. So there's a fear here, Colleen, or belief that if I have, and it takes money to have stuff, whether it's travel, experiences, or have, then other people are going to take advantage of me, betray me, leave me, abandon me. And so so these are all pointing, really to relationship issues. And so I would start, kind of what we talked about there. I'm just kind of touching on it, giving you an idea where to start. So I'll hand it over to you, Eric.
Well, 1973, and she's a Gemini. So definitely love those Geminis. But she probably has the sun trine Pluto in Libra. Okay. And, you are obviously a Gen Xer like myself. And, one thing that you've got to remember this year, Uranus is coming into Gemini on April 25th for the next 7 years. And you are going to feel it right off the bat because it'll be conjunct your sun. This is literally when, you may have ringing in the ear. When you go for walks out in nature or local drives in your community, you can have a ton of downloads. You may meet all of the clairs, clair sentient, cognizant, all the clairaudient, all the clairs could come online, but literally mental telepathy. The thing that no astrologer and really nobody can predict, when Uranus enters Gemini, we're going to see not just a lot of technological advances. There's going to be a lot with flight and travel, but even consciousness. Remember, Gemini, Mercury is very connected to our lungs, our hands, our ears, our fingers, wrists, and shoulders. So, being flexible and adaptable is going to be important for you. And my big warning or wish for you is just to know, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is a year where you've got to be open to changing, right? Don't be so, stuck in any way. And being that you're a Gemini, I'm sure you're not very rigid in thought anyway, and the fact that you're here, but just be mindful of that. I want you to be very intentional with your thoughts and your words. That the more you can think and speak positively, it will benefit you this year, but also be willing to think outside the box. Try new things, new foods. Oh, you've never had zucchini before or okra? Well, eat it, right? You've never meditated in the shower before? Do it. Whatever it is, right? I'm just giving some random examples, but I want you to tap into that because with you having Pluto in Libra, and Pluto is now in Aquarius to 2044, and Uranus is entering your sun in Gemini, you're going to have this energy of a grand air trine by transit and your natal placements. It's going to be so powerful for you. It's going to be a very transformative year and years to come. Okay, my friend?
Cool. I love that. I love that for you.
She's got a nice alignment there. So it's a lot of communication with others, but don't be afraid, because one thing, Joy, you and I, we're Virgos. That's a feminine, mutable earth sign. So earth and water tend to be a little bit more introspective, right? They're always contemplating, analyzing. And Gemini and the fire and air signs are more masculine, action orientated, right? Not male, but just masculine energy. Like we were talking about the right shoulder before. So they don't tend to pause and look within because they're busy taking action and initiating. So this may be a year where you need to slow down, do more journaling and meditating, and look within for introspection. Okay. All right. Who else we got?
Kubota Marie, or probably Marie Kubota it is, but that's that way. And
I think it's Kubota, maybe Kubota Marie. Okay.
Yeah. The date is March 21st, 1988. And she says, I don't love how judgmental and critical I am of myself and others. Okay, so what comes in immediately as I was reading that is being judgmental of critical, both of yourself and others.
Go ahead. I'm going to get some water real quick. Sorry.
Okay, is a way to not connect. So it's a way to keep yourself separate from others. And the reason you feel the need to keep yourself separate from others is because you don't feel safe. And not by separate, I mean that connection, whether energetic connection or even, hugging somebody and just having a big long hug. Yeah, right away you're like, no, you're pulling back. And so as long as you're judgmental and critical, either of yourself, you're not going to, if you're feeling not worthy, not good about yourself, you feel like you don't have value, you're critical of yourself, you're going to go, I don't want anybody being close to me. I'm not worthy of that. Or if you feel that way about them, you're going to go, I don't want to, connect with somebody or be close to them, whether energetically or a hug or something like that. So this is about staying separate and in your own space and energy, but from a place of, I don't think it's not some, well, I think deeper it's because you don't feel safe, but you just don't, you're using it as a coping strategy you developed as a child. The way to stay safe is to stay separate from others. If I'm separate from others, nobody can hurt me, but you're still doing that now. And the very fact that you're aware of that shows that you're ready to release that. And especially as we go forward into this year and this 9-year cycle, you're looking for connection. At the same time, you're scared of it because as a child, you stayed safe through separation.
Wow, that's powerful. And you said 1988, right? March 21st?
Yeah, 1988.
Yeah. Well, hey, Kubota. I mean, she's a millennial, Pluto Scorpio. And I've been really stressing to the millennials, with Pluto in Aquarius, this is the time to not just know your traumas and your pain points, right? It's time to transmute them so that you can soar like the eagle. Because the Scorpio metamorphosis is the scorpion going to the phoenix rising out of the ashes, where it's kind of like burning the booty and the tushy, right? That's the transformation, the death and birth and rehealing. And then you're Anguilla, the eagle, right? That's the final stage. You're soaring like the eagle. And so that's when the Scorpio, Pluto is really healed. And so you guys are up to bat. It's your turn to lead us into the age of Aquarius. So this is why it's so important for the millennials to really get healed. A lot of the millennials, Joy, they have really mastered at a young age, because that went from 83 to 95. A lot of them have mastered the money, power, sex, and identifying the traumas. But now we've got to move past that because Scorpios are deeper than that. And so you have to trust yourself and others emotionally, but then you have to transmute those pains so that you can not only be healed, but then you've got to heal others, right? And that will, for you, go back down to the Gen Zs and the Alphas and Betas, these young kids. But also with you being on an equinox baby, it's one of the most powerful energies, right? People born from like March 17th or even 16th to the 25th, that little gap, right? Early Aries, super powerful people. That's the 0 point mark of creation. And that's where Neptune's going to be January 26th. And then Saturn's coming in February 13th. And then we've got the great conjunction between them on February 20th. So you should definitely come to Coffee Talk. I'll be talking about that in February on the 7th, and then I believe the 13th. So don't miss those. They'll both be 2 hours and talking about those energies. But also just know when Neptune comes in, it's there to 2039. It's going to give you a level of spirituality and boost, compassion, empathy, grace, and mercy for Kubota first. So like what Joy was saying, have that where you're not being so tough and critical of yourself. So then you can be more open and have more compassion and empathy for others. But this is a big time for that emotional discipline and that self love. And then Saturn's coming in to slow you down. You can't run away from others or run away from yourself or your problems. You're going to have to face them head on with the ram. And when you feel or deal with obstacles, don't stop, right? Aries is the spark of life, but sometimes the cardinal fire sign, they don't like to complete what they start. Capricorn takes it up the mountain, right? The sea goat, right? The cardinal earth sign, that's we're in Capricorn season. It's about building businesses, success, whatever. So with Aries and Saturn being there, the ruler of Capricorn, now when you face the restrictions and limitations, don't stop. Push through, because it's going to literally form new synapses and sparks in your cerebral cortex in the frontal lobe. So this is going to be, and that's there to 2028, but this is a powerful time for you. So embrace this energy, take a breath, like Joy was saying earlier, slow down, think before you react, don't be overly impulsive, but more compassion and empathy to yourself first. And then when you fill up that cup of self-love, you can embrace others and extend it to them, my friend. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, compassion and empathy. I was just thinking that as well. You
Uh,
mentioned 2028, and whenever I think of 2026, like in December, 2028 would come in almost like a shining light. And I don't know what it
mm.
was about, but it was just this big flashing light. So I just thought I'd
You know
mention.
what I think that could be connected to, Joy? Well, I don't know if you've ever heard, well, 2027 is the human design prophecy that the collective will leave the solar plexus and start to vibrate from their heart chakra. And so I think as that energy comes, I can almost see 2028 like where we're all finally kind of getting there and getting activated. And like you said, that beautiful light. So maybe that's what you're tuning into, because that could be, it's going to be an interesting time.
Could be, yeah, yeah, that's interesting.
I
So,
really,
and I would love to have you do my birthday if at the end if there's
oh,
time.
yes, of course. Yeah.
This is
That'd be great for the audience to see.
this is acoustic Andrea. Uh,
Oh, welcome you. And you guys that are new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. And also, after we do you, I want everybody to Joy, her information is down below in the description, but I want you to share how people can reach and contact you, and then we'll do it again at the end. But go ahead with her acoustic. What's her name again? Acoustic what?
Andrea,
Mm, I,
and she says I had my root canal today. And the doctor said everything went great. I'm wondering if I've cleared my pattern of getting frustrated with myself for not being further with my songwriter career. I get a yes and a no. Physically, what was necessary to clear has been cleared, but then there's a part of you that wants to stay safe and stuck, and
mm,
that has to do with family. So all the ways, Andrea, and anybody else who is ready, it's like you can see forward, you can see that path forward. But the attachments to family and that comfort zone are so strong. You're in this it's not really a stuck place, but there's two choices right now, almost like it's called a choice point. You can choose to just take action, and the way this is manifestation. So in your case, Andrea, and anybody else that wants this, and you're at a choice point, okay, I can stay with family and friends, but I know that's a lower frequency. And it might be family of origin even, but that's your comfort zone. And you might go, but that's, it's lower frequency, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to stay there, that's fine. Doesn't mean you have to disrupt everything, but focus on your vision. So you have that vision, Andrea, you want to be a singer, songwriter, and focus on that and feel into that. So this is manifestation. So you've got a vision, you know what you want. Feel into that as if it's already happened emotionally. How are you going to feel happy, uplifted, joyful, inspired, worthy, validated, valued, connected, engaged, supported? feel all of that, whatever it is for you, feel into that and let your body feel that. And if you're saying, okay, well, I'd love to feel happy, like that's what I'm choosing, but I don't remember how to feel happy, then go on YouTube and listen to a baby crying, and just feel that uplifting energy for a moment. Think of a time you saw a rainbow. It doesn't have to be big. What you're looking for is to connect and remember that emotion within your body. And the more you can feel into that emotion, see what you're doing, emotions, energy, and motion, they magnetize that vision to you and you to that vision. So the more you can have that vision, so it starts with knowing what you want. It might be a new car, it might be buying a house. So you know what you want, but it's like having a dream board or a dream vision. If you just have a dream board, if you just have a dream board there with pictures or saying, it doesn't do anything. That's why some people will say dream boards don't work. They do when you emotionally connect to them. So whether it's a dream board or a vision,
those vision boards are powerful.
Yeah, those vision board. Yeah. So when your emotions are like a magnet, and they will magnetize your vision to you. So what you're doing when in your case, singer songwriter, and when you're creating that vision in the energetic field. And once it's been created, it's there, and you've given a intention, you've sent an intention to the universe. Now, the more you magnetize that with your emotions, that vision becomes magnetized to you. You feel that, you become magnetized to the vision. So what happens, it's not magic, it doesn't just happen. That's like a bridge, your emotions. The next bridge is the action. But the more you have magnetized that with emotion, you will find that the right person shows up. You see something online, you hear something, and all of a sudden it's just what you need. So you put that vision out there, you magnetize it. We get stuck on the how. The universe will bring the how to you as long as you take the steps. And so if you're like, okay, I want to do this, but I don't know anybody, how's that going to happen? Let go. Start with the first steps of manifestation, and then let go and trust that the universe is going to show you the how, or bring you the people or the resources or whatever you need.
I love that. Did she leave a birth date or no?
No date of birth. At least I don't see it yet.
Okay. Andrea, if you want to share your date of birth, I would, love to break things down for you. But I'll say this real quick. Try to connect with these crystals. The writing, that's going to really, the Uranus and Gemini energy, April 25th, will help you, because that is connected to writing. And maybe just try to do some automatic writing where you're not even thinking of like, okay, I'm writing a song or this and that, or maybe just put on some instrumental music or your favorite song and just start writing and see what comes up. And you may be surprised and shocked, like, wow, these lyrics are beautiful. They're incredible. You know what I mean? So just be open to that. But definitely, if you'd like, you could share your birthday information with you, and I'll break things down for you a little bit deeper. But even, get into the water and get with the crystals, especially even the shungite crystals in the bathtub and the Epsom salt. That may help up some of your creativity as well, because water can really help with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. She did write a song. I forget, what was it? The Power of Dreams. There was more to on the Wings of Dreams, I think it's called.
Oh, that's beautiful.
She sent it to me the other day. I listened to it. It was awesome, actually. So
okay,
getting it out there. So
okay, well, you can email it to me. I'd love to hear it. Eric@BigEAstrology.com, and that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's actually really an awesome song and very uplifting too.
Okay, that's great. Keep going, Andrea. I love the creativity. I've done 2 albums and 4 mixtapes. I'm an MC, a hip hop rhymer, but I would love to do a 3rd album. And I've had a little, I don't want to say writer's block myself. I just, I got to sit down, but I'm so busy because I'm finishing writing my astrology book and starting my NDE book. But I want to get back to writing and doing album. So I know where you're at with the writing. It's important, but just try different ways. Okay, you'll do it.
So this is JZS3348.
Okay.
I'd like to clear blockages around money, life direction, and relationships. So
Mm,
3 different things. So I'm just going to see what is in all 3 of them there. The date of birth, 7/27/75.
okay.
So clear blockages around money, life direction, and relationships. And yeah, there's very stuck energy, and all 3 are working together. So what is this stuckness about? It just feels really stuck. Okay, so let's start there, because the stuck energy is preventing me from seeing anything. So all the stuckness around, it's kind of in your own, permeating your whole life: money, your direction, your purpose, and relationships. All the ways you feel just stuck and stagnant, like you can't take a step forward. Imagine you're standing there and you take 1 step forward, just move 1 foot. And okay, well, that just broke it up, it shattered it. And huge anxiety is coming up, like massive anxiety. There's so much anxiety that you're afraid if you move in any direction, you allow yourself to, bring in more money, make more money, you have a purpose, you even discover what your purpose is and you're clear on that, or you are clear in relationships and communication. So much anxiety comes up, and then with the anxiety is fear that okay, so I just want to go a little bit with this, because it's some pretty anxiety. And okay, so let's go to the child. The child within you is just stuck. I mean, they're restricted. They're like holding their body really tight, and they're looking around and they're afraid to move. So I don't know your name. Do you know this person's name?
No, I don't.
Okay, so child, what is the intense fear and anxiety about? Okay, yes. Okay, so you are stuck in trauma, so some brain and nervous system work would be good for you. And calming, releasing the limiting beliefs, the trauma from the brain, and then calming the nervous system. And okay, so now the child says, no, that's impossible. And so, yes, we see you, child. And the child says, I don't want you to see me. I don't want anybody to see me. Okay, so we see that you're feeling very, very unsafe. Okay, all the ways this is tied to many, many, many past lifetimes, this intense feeling of anxiety and fear and not being safe. Let's witness those past lifetimes and the power and the hold that those past lifetimes have over you in this lifetime to keep you stuck and ensure that you never break out of the darkness into the light. Release that. And Michael, cut the cords to all those past lifetimes, and there you go. There, your whole self relaxed. Okay, there's some grace. There's some grace moving within you. There's some ease and flow. Okay, so that was the start of releasing that stuck energy. So now you feel free to move forward. And so now you can go forward from there.
Well, 7/27/75. And what was the screen name again?
JZS3.
Oh, JZ. So, Jay, I don't know if you're a male or female, but your Leo sun is squaring your Uranus. Okay, and so exactly what Joy was saying, in the head and the body, Uranus controls the central nervous system in the back of the neck. So you definitely need to definitely get some of the light codes from the sun. Do some sun gazing at sunrise and sunset. Massage the back of your neck. But what you've got to remember is your soul is here to learn its lessons through the lens of relationships. Your Pluto Libra. Often my Pluto Libra clients, they either never get married or they get married more than once, but no matter what, whether it's with their parents or siblings or, boyfriend, girlfriends or marriage partner, a lot of their trauma, pain, and crises comes through the lens of relationships, and a lot of life lessons through relationships. So one thing that will really help is really focusing on the self-love. Always trust in yourself. You have to realize how amazing you are, as we spoke earlier. Please don't forget that. And at the same time, trust in others, but use your intuition. Like, if people show you who they are, believe them, and then don't trust them. Only trust in people that really show up and show that, that they're worthy, especially of your heart and of your time and energy. And then always trust in God, source, creator energy, whatever that is for you. Okay. But that's really important. I would definitely, reach out, Eric at BigEAstrology.com, book a chart reading or whatever. And Joy's going to give her information. It's also down below, so you can reach out to her for like a full energy reading. May really help you. But just remember, Uranus and Scorpio, you're a natural empath and you've got some dynamic healing energy. You've got to trust in yourself more, okay? So now, Joy, please share your information for everybody, and we'll get back to the readings. What's the best way for people to reach you and learn about some of your different services? Because you're so dynamic and people need to connect with you.
Well, my website is courageinaction.com. So courageinaction.com. And because anything we do, whether it's, sending an email, doing some research, whatever it is, takes courage. So I wanted to call it courageinaction.com. You can get a free ebook on there. Just enter your email. You scroll about halfway down the first page.
Okay.
And also go to my YouTube, which is just at Courage in Action, or email me, joy@courageinaction.com, and I can send you the information, or I believe it'll be on the description here.
Yeah, everything's down below. I love that. Okay. Yeah. So you guys definitely connect with Joy, because tell them some of the different readings that you do.
I don't so much do I do phone, like Zoom sessions. So if people want interactive, I do that as well. Readings, it's more what I do is something called a scan and a clearing. So it's two different recordings.
Okay.
The scan, I go through all your energy field and also your 7 main chakras and identify. It's not really a reading per se like you do. This is more identifying any pain points, stuck energies, limiting beliefs.
You're kind of reading their body, their energy.
Yeah, exactly. So in that way, it's a reading, but I'm identifying pain points, and then the next clearing is we just go into that and we release that. So it's not so much on a specific chakra like the scan. The scan is really, and we're identifying any themes. And when you've got a theme, and it might be a shame, it might be a pattern, and when we can identify the themes, then those can be released. And they might be themes that have kept you stuck your whole life. And that's about, well, it's 2 hours. The recorded part's about an hour and a half, but it takes about 2 hours, just like you would do your charts.
You guys, she's being very humble. Joy is really, really incredible. She's amazing. So reach out.
You, Eric. So,
thank you, my friend. All right, so who's next? Who else we got?
This is Searching Owl, and I love
Searching Owl.
I love that Searching Owl. Owl's wisdom. So clear my money blocks, please. Okay. And the date of birth is 12/16/64.
Okay.
And so closer to my age there. And clear money blocks. Lack. That's first thing that comes up. I can feel the lack in your field. And so all the ways you believe you're not allowed to, like not allowed or not supposed to have more money than you do. And there's a fear that, and then there's a fear that you won't have enough money. And so this is where you want to trust and really focus like that. You might even want to make that your word for this year is trust. So trust that if you need more money in your life, especially as you get closer to retirement or changing careers in that, and ask the universe, the angels, the guides are always here for us, and we know that, but we can forget to ask them. So ask them to ensure that I always have the money that I need and that I desire. And if you want to say a certain amount, add this or something greater to make sure you're not limiting yourself. So whatever you desire, whatever you imagine, whatever you want, just say, you can say it in as much detail as you want. Michael, Raphael, Lakshmi, goddess of prosperity, whoever you're talking to, communicating with. And you can just say the name, or you can say what you want and desire in detail. If you say it in detail, then say this or something greater. Namaste. And this, because as amazing as our imagination is, it's still limited by our experiences and what we've gone through in life and our, humanity. But when you say this or something greater, the universe will always give you something greater than you can possibly imagine. Where we get stuck is as humans, we want to be in control, and we like that structure. And so sometimes, it's finding that balance. So,
yeah, that's deep. Our need for control sometimes is definitely a hindrance to our spiritual and emotional growth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We got to kind of let our hair down. So she's 1216. She's an amazing Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is like the most optimistic and fortunate, lucky sign. So, you've kind of got that Uranus Pluto conjunction as well, searching owl. So, just make sure to recognize that whatever you went through in childhood from mom and dad and just life, that it's not going to define you for who you are. You can reimagine and reinvent yourself, and the Virgo South Node is there to July 27th to help you kind of release these old thought patterns and these old ways. Really make sure you're focusing on your health too, but just be maniacal intentional with your thoughts and your words, and be hokey positive and hokey optimistic, because that vibration and frequency will permeate around you, because you've got that energy of 64 65 dynamic healing with Pluto Uranus conjunction. And with the South Node here, it's really bringing in for you to recognize, stop being so tough on yourself and so critical. You're amazing. You just got to see it. Other people see how amazing you are. They're just waiting for you to step up into like the energy of your soul and like walk into like who you're supposed to be. Right now, it's like you're kind of like, behind the rope and to the side, and everybody's like, we're searching out. And then you're like, here I am. So just show up. You know what I mean? You're going to see when you do, there is an audience and people who just want to celebrate you and appreciate you and enjoy your vibration and your energy, because it's big. Okay.
I can feel what you said there, Eric. There are people who, we're searching out, who see you for who you are and are waiting for you to step up.
Yeah.
That I can really feel that. And I can also, at the beginning, I think you said Sagittarius there's a lot of opportunity, or
it's a very fortunate, abundant sign, Sagittarius. They're very optimistic, and people say, oh, they're so lucky,
So right now, what you're doing, searching out, is the opposite, because I can feel the lack. Maybe you grew up in that and you've carried that, throughout your whole life. But the beauty of that is, as much as you've lived in that lack energy, the opposite, like you said, it's a very fortunate sign, is also waiting for you. It's simply making that shift and that choice, and trusting, calling on the universe. But it feels very powerful. Like that's right there for you. And I think it is for many of us. So.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Pamela. My date of birth is, so it's 3004. Okay, so March 30th, 1974.
March 30th. Okay, another Aries.
4. So 3004. I'm reading it the other way. So it'd be April 30th.
Yeah, she must be across the pond. They write it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would love to know what I am surrounded by externally within my current residence. So I'm assuming you mean what energies you're surrounded by, because you would know what people or animals you're surrounded by. What I am surrounded by, Pamela, external within my current. It feels like a combination. Nothing bad. That's an interesting question. Doesn't feel like there's anything bad, but you might believe there is something there.
Yeah.
And do an energy clearing if you're feeling kind of not comfortable in your residence, or you feel like there's something there. It doesn't feel like there are not energies. I'm not getting anyways, unless you bring them in through your fear, that are there to harm you. And if you're bringing any in through your fear, because yes, dark energies connect to fear. That's what attracts them. That's what they feed off of. Then start. Choose consciously. You are smart. You're aware enough. You know how to move out of fear. I can feel that within you. So move out of the fear if that is happening, because they're not there. There's nothing there that wants to harm you consciously. Like, I'm not getting any energies that are in your environment saying we are here to harm you or overpower you. But if you believe there are, then your fear can attract those.
Mhm.
But I'm also getting it's not a really light energy. So maybe have like a cleansing of your place. So you can do this yourself, whether with, you do it with sage, or you do it with crystals, or whatever you decide to, or a candle, anything like that, incense. And find some kind of house clearing statement, and you can channel one. You can find them online, whatever works for you, some kind of statement, or just a statement clearing your place out. Go into the corners, because that's where dark energy stays. Or if you have any crystal bowls or singing bowls, use those, or have somebody do it. But it does feel like your place, it doesn't feel really bad unless your fear attracts them in. But it doesn't really feel light either. It feels kind of heavy and dense. So I think a clearing on your plate, in your, where you're living, would be great. And then if you can surround it with crystals, or have crystals above your door or anything like that when you come in, that's always handy as well.
Mm, I love that. Now she's April 30th, and you said 74.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the April 30th. That's a Taurus. And Taurus, really very powerful people. One thing, you've also got that Pluto Libra, Pamela. And so just remember, your soul is here to learn its life lessons through the lens of relationships. And I'll stress this again, because that's Venus ruled the Pluto Libra, and so is your Taurus sun sign. And Venus is connected to self-worth and our values. So I want you to value yourself and know how amazing you are, and really hone in on that self-love. Um, I don't know if you've dealt with a lot of pressure points or trauma in relationships in life. Could be parents, siblings, a husband, a boyfriend. But just remember, when you connect in nature, and right now Uranus is still in Taurus until April 25th, you can get a lot of downloads to like really give you higher consciousness. Remember earlier, I don't know if you were here, Joy was talking about just going for a walk. That can be very positive and resetting for you. So, maybe, even go outside with your crystals and connect to nature. Believe it or not, we can tap into the trees, the plants, the mycelium network, and they have so much wisdom and can be so beneficial for us. And I think that's something that can really help you. But, I've got a big affinity for the Taurus ladies, because my mother was a Taurus. And you just have to know you're freaking amazing. Trust your intuition. Taurus rules the five senses. And with Uranus there, your sixth sense right now is super high, but you may find that it gets more activated when you are going for a walk in nature. So do that. Even if you're living somewhere cold right now, between now and April, like, just, whether it's sun gazing, at sunrise and sunset, do that. Or just, being outside if you can between 12 and 2. Even if you work in a building, just go outside for a couple minutes, and, whatever, a little extended lunch break or whatever. But it's important for you to tap into that. A lot of, it's so funny in real estate, a lot of, we know about this in astrology. If you have Taurus in the fourth house or an Aquarius rising, or you're just a Taurus sun, moon rising, it's very important for you to have some grass around you so you could actually put your feet on the grass, in the ground. That's why the moon is exalted in Taurus, because it's the first earth sign. So it's very connected to, grass and nature. Okay. So hopefully that will help you, and just be more positive. Okay, my friend, you're amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. Interesting that your mom was a Taurus, because my mom was a Taurus and we're Virgos. So
Oh, I love that. I love it. Glad these Taurus moms are tough, but I always say my mom was tough but fair.
yeah.
Very kind, very loving and sweet. And she loved like music and clothing and fabrics and her jewelry. Yeah, Taurus is a very luxurious sign, right? Because it's about the material things and the senses, and they're very spiritual. People don't realize Taurus is very spiritual.
And well, I found my mom wasn't on the path at all, and she definitely wouldn't allow herself, like in her lifetime, she's passed, but any luxury. But she had a toughness within her with all she went through and the trauma and lack of support.
Yeah, my mom too.
I don't know if it's mums, but I don't know if it's Taurus as well. But man, there was that inner
Oh
strength.
yeah, a lot of trauma. Yeah, my mom she went through so much. She lost her mom at the age of 14, and she just very stable. She brought stability wherever she was, because they're tough. They're so tough.
Yeah, my mom certainly was. So
yeah.
Should we go a little bit more here?
Yeah, one or two, and then I'll end off with reading you.
Okay. Let's see. This is Okay, she doesn't leave a date of birth. This is Janice Montague.
Montague.
Okay. I'd love to have a clearing, especially around self-limiting beliefs and ancestral karmic obligations. Thank you. This is where, like for yourself, when you're doing your inner work like that, having some kind of vision is, because then you have a direction to go towards, rather than just doing the inner work and staying stuck there. Then you have that, once you come to that place of release, then you can move forward. Okay, so self-limiting beliefs. Well, as you've said like several times, Eric, be kinder to yourself.
Janice is amazing. I think she was there the night you came. She's the tribe member. She's brilliant. Okay. And she led the tribe meeting this past week and teaching us about consciousness and food and herbs. And oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Okay, so that's good to know. So one is Janice. So like you said, she's amazing, but you want to be kinder to yourself.
Yeah.
And your word. So that's a big one. Be kinder to yourself, like consciously choose every morning or every day, at least once, just say to yourself, this is good for everybody. Our words are energy. It creates our energy, builds up our immune system. Our words can, destroy our immune system and our health and our vitality, or it can build it up. And so even if it feels weird, just say, you know what, I like myself. I appreciate myself.
Yes.
I value myself. I am worthy. And I choose right now to feel good about myself because I can. You don't need a reason, just because you can. Feel good about yourself. Say, I am enough. And it will feel weird. When I first started saying this to myself, I mean, it was like there was no emotion in it. It just felt weird. But I did it, and you start believing in yourself, and it's a journey. We can all get down on ourselves, but start there. And self-limiting beliefs. Well, that's one. Okay, so all the ways you don't feel worthy of feeling good about yourself and being kind to yourself. You're a very kind person, and you give that out. But then when it comes to you. Yeah, let's release that one, because, okay, there you go. See, I can already feel you getting stronger, like the energy within you is becoming stronger. Let's take a look at ancestral karmic obligations. Okay, yeah, one of the obligations is I have to take care of everybody else. So all the ways in a past lifetime, you agreed to sacrifice yourself and take care of everybody else because there was some kind of needs you needed met. It might have been Feels like more than just purely survival. And so by sacrificing yourself and agreeing to take care of everybody else, you got these needs met. The thing is, you didn't specifically say for all of eternity, but you believed it was for all of eternity. You were bound to this. So any lifetimes in which you agreed to sacrifice yourself for the betterment of others, to support others, and you are still doing that, so you share your kindness and your heart with others, but then forget about yourself, and then that weakens you, let go of that on all levels. Any obligation you feel to continuing to sacrifice yourself, let go of that on all levels and throughout all time and space. There you go. There's some fun and laughter. There's some happiness. And the child, I just felt the child with a smile on her face. Okay, so that kind of touched it, started it for now.
I love that. Well, we could do one more, and then I'll read you if there's one more person, if there is another one.
Yeah, there's a few more here. But so the date of birth is February 15th, 81, so 1581. Okay. And what it says, body injuries, home, bath renovations, handy capable, I don't know what that means, handy capable, maybe you want a handicapped vehicle, body injuries, I'm not sure. Home, what it is reading like is there's some injuries and you're wanting to make things easier for you through home and bath renovations and a handicapped vehicle.
What's the name? Is this
the Mama?
Oh, Mama Miss. Yeah, I thought it was Mama Miss. Okay,
so does that make sense? I know what I'm saying there.
Yeah. She I guess she had been in a car accident years ago. And she's another dynamic tribe member. She's beautiful soul.
I think I connected with her.
Yeah, you're connected with Mama Miss. Yeah.
Okay, so any ways in which you don't feel worthy of your life being easier, all the ways you believe you have to experience hardship in this life to pay for past karma. Okay, so let go of that. So what you're believing is that if this life is hard enough and difficult for me, then that is the way I can pay for past karma, like from past lives. And it's interesting because this question just came up from a client a few weeks ago. And she says, if it was in relationships, and she said, if I take this action, that karma could happen. If I take this action, this could happen, this could happen. So there are 3 different actions, but she just felt stuck. It's like, I'm going to keep repeating this and I'm not going to end it. Is there any other option? I said, yes, there is a 4th option. And it might not happen right away, but what you want to do to release karma, any kind of karma you feel like you're punishing yourself for is keeping you stuck, is get to a place where what you want to do is emotionally detach from that. And when you can come to such a place of heart energy and peace and grace, and you can bless that person, that experience, not from I have to release this, but from that purity, you release that.
Yeah.
What keeps that karma in there is any kind of 3D attachment, emotional attachment. I have to, I should, punishment. This is all 3D consciousness.
Yeah.
You can get to a place of heart energy. Like you said, we're moving into that heart energy.
Yeah.
So it might not happen right away, whether it's 28 or whenever it is. And when you can get to that place of beauty and peace and purity and grace and heart, and you can bless that person, that experience, what you have heard happen in past life, whether you did something that you would never consider in this lifetime, and you can bless that and grace that and bless that with heart energy, you release that karma. meaning you don't have to go through this lifetime punishing yourself. That punishing yourself does not balance out karma. It keeps you stuck in that heavy fear-based dense 3D consciousness. So Mama Mystic, let go of punishing yourself. Just let go of that. And any ways in which you believe you have to make it really hard on yourself so that you can balance out the karma, let go of that. That's somewhere a belief that got sent out in this, spiritual universe that, yeah, that you have to be really hard on yourself or punish yourself. That's going to balance.
It's like our default button. We, as human beings in this 3D matrix, we are very hard on ourselves because the programming has made us think like grinding and hustle culture. And if you don't achieve this, you're not that. And that's all a myth and a lie. So Mama Mish, you got the moon right now transiting your ascendant in Sagittarius. And, you're going to feel such a shift with Uranus going into your other house, the seventh house of the other half in April. But even coming up, right? Neptune in your fifth house of Aries. And so that's going to activate your heart chakra and maybe even bring you and your daughter closer together. I don't know if she's around or can help you at all or whatever, but the Saturn coming too, you're going to see sort of like a new beginning and maybe a new connection and some more healing with your own heart and, allowing you to initiate again with all your creative endeavors because you're gifted, you're amazing. Just make sure you stay away from any toxic people, Mama, on the social media, right? Pluto, Aquarius, third house, but also just allow yourself to, until April 25th, Taurus, sixth house, even if you're just walking down the block or you go outside to breathe the fresh air, try to connect with the trees, the plants, the mycelium network. That's going to really help you. Right? That's going to help you not only to activate your throat chakra, but to heal your physical body. All right. So Uranus in sixth house of health, that can help bring some healing when you are connecting to the earth and to nature. And maybe even on Amazon.com, as I think Janice had mentioned the other night, getting a grounding mat. Because when Janice mentioned that, I may be getting a grounding mat to put under my desk when I'm here working with clients. Anytime that we can connect. And I've realized, right, I got to stop wearing the synthetic socks. If I can't get the cotton or linen or wool, get the wool socks, So, when we know better, we got to do better. And so part of that is really, really saying the hokey words out loud, Mama, to yourself. Activating your Uranus and Scorpio in the 12th house. You're the empath. You're very sensitive to energies and frequencies, but you also are very gifted. So give yourself that space to acknowledge and to remember how awesome and how gifted you truly are, my friend. Okay. So I don't want to keep Joy forever. So thank you for everybody in the chat. You guys make sure you hit the like button, and new people come in here, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. And before we go, I'm going to read Joy. She's going to share her birthday with me. But also, just remember, Friday, coffee talk. As I like to say, my mini astrological coffee talk, right? Actually, I got the mug right here. Coffee talk with Eric. I had some tea before the show. And it's this Friday. It's 65 minutes, only $13. I'm going to be doing the natal birth chart, Joy, of Bruce Lee. And really fascinating. Always loved his energy and his mantras. The actor, the martial artist, just the legend. He was a Sagittarius sun and rising and a Scorpio moon in the 12th house. So similar energy in some places, I guess, to you, Mama, with the Sag rising. But that's going to be fun. And then obviously going into February, I'll have two coffee talks on February 7th and then again on the 13th. So that's where we're going to get into the Saturn in Aries and then the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries on the 13th. So I'm going to get everybody ready for all these big major transits and coffee talks. So great. Just have patience with me. The website's still kind of, messed up. I'm going to get it fixed soon. But all orders, you guys go directly to Eric at BigEAstro.com, and you could pay Cash App, PayPal as a friend or Zelle. But Joy, as we end the show, thank you again, my friend. You guys, courageandaction.com. This was amazing. I just love your Virgo energy and your service to humanity and the collective, because Joy is truly about really helping people, and you do such a great job. So tell me, what is your birthday so we could leave you off with some astrological energies?
Just before I do that, I want to acknowledge Teresa Mayer. She just finished her Reiki Masters, so that's
Yes,
awesome.
Teresa.
Yeah.
Make sure you email me, Teresa. Congrats. Wow.
And I was going to say my latest YouTube video, which is called "This Is Why You're Here,"
Ah,
was just I didn't know what I was going to do. It's and when I started the Zoom call, recording it, and so just it turned into a meditation, which I've got a lot of comments on it. People have emailed me saying, "Oh, that was so relaxing." It's
okay,
taken.
so go to Courage in Action on YouTube, you guys, and watch that latest video. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. Okay. So my date of birth is September 15th, 1962.
Okay, September 15th, 1962. So you've been going through a lot with Saturn and Neptune opposing you in Pisces. They're getting ready to leave. So that's going to feel like a little bit of an energy shift and release for you. But hopefully, what you've been recognizing with this Virgo South Node transiting to July 27th and the Pisces North Node, that you it's almost like energetically from your clients or your others. I'm trying to remember your chart. For some reason, I feel like you were an Aries rising. I know you don't know, and I think you were a Cancer moon, but I can't remember. But with those placements, it's important for you to recognize that you are so connected to the spiritual realm and others. And this is a time as you connect and ground and kind of release energies that are no longer serving you, you're opening more space to serve more clients, but to increase your spiritual gifts. And you're going to find with Uranus coming in Gemini April 25th, this is going to be very powerful because it will bring some challenges, to your Virgo sun. But what's going to, and it won't be in 2027. It'll be more like 2031 or 2032. But what you're going to find is that these are great opportunities to quantum leap into new dimensions and new realities. Whenever we have squares, the opportunities for growth. So this is where you'll see by 2030, 2031, you'll have to, get very comfortable with being uncomfortable, but it's not something that's going to last forever, right? It's only there to 2034, but it's an opportunity for you to grow in your own spiritual gifts, your clairs, your higher consciousness. And, you as well have, it's not exact, the Pluto Uranus conjunction in Virgo, it's a little further apart, but that's why you're so great at what you do. Having Uranus and Pluto in Virgo, born, people born from like 62 to 67 have this, and it's extremely healing, and it's big acts of service to humanity. So it's one of those reasons why you do what you do. You know what I mean? And your son's not that far from it. And I think that what's going to happen is as we have these eclipses, March 3rd, something will be illuminated, around your vitality. And you're going to see that there's things from the past that may come up that you have an opportunity to transmute forever, to continue on your spiritual journey, but on your journey with your business and how you work with clients. So this is actually a great time. And Virgos are going to feel come this summer, it's going to be really nice because once the South Node leaves, it's going to wrap up some things with these eclipses, and the next one will be, I think, for you on the Virgo Pisces axis, will be the Pisces lunar eclipse, and that's going to be on August 26th or 27th, I believe. And you'll see by this summer you're going to have a new kind of a new vitality. You know what I mean? But
Awesome.
there's going to be different spiritual gifts that are going to be elevating for you. So I look forward to that. But sometimes it may feel a little challenging and uncomfortable, but you know how to ride the energy and just stay positive and be in the flow, and everything's going to be really nice. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So this was so much fun. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you again, Joy. This has been awesome. This is, I think, been your third time coming on, so I just love it, and the audience loves when we connect, and obviously, get into the readings and everything, which are so powerful. You know what I mean? And I just encourage you guys, go follow Joy on the YouTube page. Right? That's Courage in Action as well.
Yeah, just at Courage in Action.
Okay, go follow Joy there. Go subscribe to her channel, and definitely email her and reach out to her. You guys, click the link down in the description. And when this show is over, please do us a favor. Come back and leave a comment, even if you want to, say thanks to Joy or to me, or leave a question for her. She can come back and check it out, or you could just email her directly. But it does help the show grow an algorithm. And I know there's people out there who did not get to watch this live, that on the replay, they will still tap in and feel the benefits of not just the words, but even just the energy clearings that Joy did. So please share this and watch it again for yourself, because, this is just powerful. So I think I'll try to see you guys and be back Thursday night with Jupiter and Saturn and Capricorn. And happy birthday to all the Capricorns. Email me for the Capricorn birth chart sale. And my friend Joy, thank you again. This was amazing. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching episode 414 of the Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast with the amazing intuitive energy healer,